Today we're gonna do something kind of fun. If I can find where I put the parts I want to install today. I actually got these from a junkyard. The stuff we're installing today, I got them from a junkyard. And I'm pretty sure I recorded the clips of me pulling them out of the car. So if I can find that clip, I'll just put it up right here. What's going on, guys? We're at the junkyard today because they got a GTS in here. Motor's already gone, of course. What I'm really here for is the pedals. Hopefully they have it. It said that this is a manual. Oh, sick! They've got it. They've got just the gas and the brake. On the dead pedal. Oh no, the clutch is still here! Hell yeah! They look pretty dirty, but I think they'll clean up. I totally thought this was just gone because it was like to the floor. But no, we can grab this. Okay, I also want to look at the bumper. My bumper's kind of scratched up. And it looks like this one's not perfect either. We've got a crack right here and some scrapes. Yeah, no, I don't think we'll be taking that. I do want this though. This looks pretty nice. Just some dirt. This thing rolled, it looks like, really hard. God damn, look at the roof. Yeah, I think I can take this. Don't know what else I would get use out of. Ooh. I already did the brakes on mine, so I don't need these, but it's cool to see there's another set of brakes here. Someone took the door handles, but I can still pop them open. Got a leather interior. This is a 2003, so it's got the black dash. We've got a leather steering wheel too. Those are tricky to take off, but I'm gonna try to take it because those sell for good money. Everything's gone up front. Door card. It's cool, it had JBL speakers. That almost makes me want to take the speakers because I saw them in there, but yeah, I don't know if they'd be worth taking because they're old. Underneath, it's got part of the exhaust. Very rusty quarters. Man, I can only imagine how bad mine are. Looks like someone was trying to take these brakes. Blown shocks. Subframe looks like it's gonna break at any point. We got leaky gas tank. All typical stuff. Look at that. Look at this. Look how deep this is smashed in. Okay, let's start grabbing some stuff. I'm gonna start with the pedals. We got all the pedals off. It looks like this one's an electric gas pedal, but my car is run by cable, so not sure if I'm going to use this or not, but definitely we can use these and this part. I also got that back trim. It's a little scuffed up at the bottom, which is unfortunate. But yeah, the yard's going to close soon, and man, I tried getting this steering wheel, but I can't find the right tools for it. You need a Torx bit, a Torx T25, I think. To get the airbag out, and then the steering wheel bolt is a 19, and I can't find my Torx bits, so I think I might have left them at home, which is unfortunate because this is a really nice leather steering wheel, and since this car was a manual, it didn't have like the buttons here for the shifter, so these are pretty desirable, but unfortunately I can't take it, and this yard's like over an hour away from my house, so I don't think I'm gonna come back for that, unfortunately, since I've got one. And I just don't want to make the trip. But like, I could probably sell that for maybe 80 bucks. And they usually cost at the yard about 20. Also, the hood's over there. I just noticed. There's not much else I don't think I'm gonna take. This is pretty cool. This is the lens for the brake light. And if you didn't know, these the O3 lights, they have like the lenses are almost clear. They have a very light pink hue to them. But yeah, it'd be cool if someone made clears with these type of lenses. And since this place is closing right now, I think that's all I'm gonna do. I can't even look around much, but it's not a bad haul. Not a bad haul. Pretty sure they're in this bag. We have brand new pedals, or brand new used pedals for the Celica. And I put them in the Ziploc just to keep things all in one place. Okay, this is the old footrest. I've been wondering where this was actually, I totally forgot. Let's see, we have the new one. I think these are for the seats, the seat covers. Okay, we have a full set of GTS pedals, or Aluminum Sport Pedals. These are OEM pedals from Toyota. And these came standard in all of the GTS cars, all the Celica GTSs. And I believe they also came in the IS300s. So I pulled these off of a Celica. This pedal came from a Celica as well, but this is it's not for a manual cable. This is for an electronic throttle body, and I could just like punch this pin out and take the plate, but I also found an IS300 in the yard, and I got this gas pedal from it, and this is for a cable driven throttle body, so I'm pretty sure they're identical. Definitely the plate's identical. I don't know if this section is, but we're gonna figure that out today. I'm pretty sure it'll just fit in. But yeah, I really like these pedals. They're a really nice OEM upgrade. The only thing holding these on is just the rubber on the back. The pedal just slides into these crevices. These footrests, or dead pedals as you want to call them that, they just have two clips. And if you're removing these, so the way I removed this one, they're very strong clips, so I couldn't just pull it out. So what I did was I put a screwdriver underneath, and I just moved it around till I could feel this clip. And once I knew I was near it, that's when I tried to pry on it. If you put the screwdriver in the middle and then pry on it, you have a chance of cracking it. So you should just be careful. This one, unfortunately, I think I did crack it. Maybe it was me, maybe it was like that already, but it has a small crack. Yeah, we're just going to clean these up and put them in. It should be a super easy install. I just gave all the pedals a really quick clean and scrub down. And you can really tell the condition now. And it's not too bad. They're worn in the corners. This one's one on the side. It's very likely that this was on the clutch, and then this one was the one on the brake. But first, we're going to start with the dead pedal. Shoot. Looks a lot cleaner. Some scratches, but overall not bad. Yeah, so my car already doesn't have the dead pedal in right now, so this would be really simple. So the clips are already in here. Just make sure that they're the right direction. I'm pretty sure this just clips in. I think that's it. Sweet. Okay, now we have the dead pedal in. We're gonna put in the first of the small pedal things. So in my opinion, this is the easiest to put in, and then these pedals are second easiest, and this would be, I guess, the hardest because this is a bit more involved. These, you can just pull these off. So grab them from the corners and just pull it. then you're left with this. So from my experience, I would say hook it onto the top and then wiggle it down. And these are a little bit harder to put on compared to the standard ones, because these are fully rubber, so they're very flexible. But because this is like metal, this is not gonna flex, so it's a bit tricky. And even if you have the automatic and you have like the one big brake pedal, the process is the same for these. Okay, so I went online to see if there were any tips to put on these pedals, because they just kind of have to slide on. It's a simple concept, I guess, to put them on, but they are just giving me a hard time. Some people suggested putting a little bit of soapy water into the rubber section on the back. I guess this is to make it a little bit more slippery, more lubricant. We're gonna try it. I think it's working. Okay, so I got 3 corners on, this corner's off. I wanna grab a really small flat head, see if that helps. Alright, that was a lot harder than I thought, but we got the first pedal in. I'd say most helpful thing is to have a really thin, small flathead. If you have one that's shorter than this, I'd say a bit shorter would be better. And yeah, definitely getting some soap into the back area, some soapy water, definitely help slip it on. And that stuff will dry later, so I wouldn't worry about it. But basically, I hooked the top on, and then I got the screwdriver under the corner like this, and like I pried it over to get it to go over the corners, and I just kept pressing it until all the edges were nicely set in. So yeah, it's good. We're gonna move on now to the next one. This pedal is exactly the same as this one, so just pull up the corners, and now this is good. Just slide it on. I'm gonna do this one off camera, but it's exactly the same process as this one. Okay, so we've got almost all the pedals done. We just have to do the gas pedal, but we're running out of daylight right now. It's about to get dark, and I don't want to rush putting the gas pedal on. So the easy way to put it, there's 2 ways I've seen. There is a pin on the back, which I'll put an arrow like right in the center. Or I can show you on the other pedal. There's a pin right there that you can punch out and then slide the pedal off of the rod, and then put the new pedal and then put that pin back in. Or the other way, which is the way I'm gonna do it, is if you look up the rod, right here there's 2 bolts. You have to undo those and then undo the cable from the top right there. And once you do that, you can swap the whole the pedal with the arm, and I feel like that's the easier option. But you do want to be careful with undoing those bolts. Make sure they don't snap. So I just put some WD-40 on them. I'm just gonna let that soak, and then tomorrow we can try to take that off. But yeah, so far it's looking really nice. Pedals look really good. You can notice them from a distance. Okay, so now we're gonna do the gas pedal, which is I think the most tricky. So we've got our replacement right here. There's 2 10 mils that go in these holes. So I'm gonna unbolt it first, and then I'll take the cable off after. So basically on the top, you have this clip here. On the back side, you can see if you just gotta like pinch it with something and then push it through. And then once it's through, then the cable can slide through this little gap right here. It's a really tight space, so I think I'm gonna try using like some pliers to pinch this. But first we're gonna unbolt it to make it easier, to give us some more space. So I managed to get the old pedal out, and I have them put it side by side with this new one. And they're really similar, but not exactly. They're a little bit off. It's just the angle of the thing. Yeah, so I decided I'm not gonna use this pedal. I'm just gonna remove this from it and swap this over. So to do that, there's just like a pin that sits in here, and I just punched it out. Here's what that pin looks like. I just used a bunch of screwdrivers and a hammer to punch it out, and then this should slide off. And this one I did earlier. There we go. So now I'm going to put this onto the original bracket. You can see them side by side. The thing I really like about these is that they're a little bit wider than the stocks. So this should make it a little nicer to drive, a little easier in the seats. So yeah, I'm just going to put this back in and then hammer the pin back into the hole, and then we can put it back in the car. Alright, little update. It's actually the next morning. You can see how sunny it is. But yeah, I took this panel off. It's still connected with this cable, but I just took it down so I'd have a bit better visibility. And yeah, I had some trouble taking out the two bolts that are up here for the gas pedal. The first one came out luckily intact, but it bent. You can see that, it's kind of curved. And the second one snapped, and I spent like 5 hours yesterday just welding nuts onto the stud, and they just kept ripping off. The welds were good, it just kept shearing off of like the stud. So finally I got it off. Here it is. What I did was I welded this last nut on super hot. You see it melted a lot of the nut away, so I was actually worried that it wouldn't grab when I used the tool, but it did. And so I welded it super hot, and then I put a bunch of WD-40 and this stuff. This is the only lubricants I have. I left it there overnight, and this morning I just started wiggling it. I spent 20 minutes wiggling it back and forth, back and forth. Finally came out. But you can see how much shorter this is because it just kept snapping and ripping the threads off. I think I used like 7. This is the 7th nut that I've welded on here. So finally we can put the gas pedal back in. Here it is. So just remember, this is the original Celica bracket with the IS300 pedal. So yeah, I've confirmed these pedals are the same across the ISs and the Celicas. And here's the old IS300 assembly, and I just threw my old gas pedal on here just in case I felt like it. And also, I put a zip tie right here where it slides on because the hole was a little bit bigger than that metal bar. So it was just a little bit loose. It was just wiggling a little bit, and I didn't like that. So I put that zip tie, really jammed it in there, and now it's very rigid, no wiggle, no play. Okay. I don't want to reuse these bolts, so I'm gonna get some new ones from the store, but the hardware store is closed today. So we're just gonna reconnect the clip at the top and then have it in place. So the cable's connected to the pedal and it's just loosely in there. I can't drive this until I get some new bolts, but yeah, it's in there good. So we're just gonna leave that for now, and I wanna work on the center dash because if you remember, like when I first got this car, I carbon fiber wrapped this centerpiece because it was like painted red and it looked terrible. And I liked how this looked for a while, but it's time to say bye-bye to this setup. I have here a set of good centerpieces. They're in really good shape. We're gonna swap these in. And these are really hard to find because whenever I go to the junkyard, these are like the first things that are taken out of the cars. And I'm not sure why that is. But this is a dark gray as opposed to like the lighter gray that's in the first, the pre-facelift. Since my car is a facelift car, I want to have the right color thing because I also think this looks better. So let's put this in. Should be really simple. I just gave these a quick wipe down and they look so good. Really hyped. So first, usually you would start taking off this piece, and to do that you'd have to take off the shift knob by twisting it and then removing the shift boot, but I already have the shift boot taken off. So I can just pull up on this. There we go. Wiggle it up and then pull it down. There we go. So we got 2 screws down here. Alright, 2 screws are out in the bottom. And then these knobs, you literally just pull them out. And same with this one, you just pull it out. And I think, no, okay, there's 2 more screws here. Okay, so okay, I just took those screws out, and I think I can pull up on this. You want to be really careful because the clip right here always breaks, so you want to pull it, I think, straight this way. So here's all the pieces side by side. I gotta say, this vinyl wrap has held up pretty well. It's been, I think, 2 years since I put it on. It's peeling up right here, but I stretched it like super hard right here, so that's kind of my fault. And it's very wrinkly looking on this panel because if you remember, I put paint stripper on it, and that's why it's it like shrink the plastic and it started making the plastic crack. So again, that's not the vinyl's fault, it's my fault. This piece still looks really good. I always liked how shiny and glossy it was. And if you look at this OEM, it's more like a satin finish. I just noticed on the old one here, this is the remaining evidence of the red paint that was on there. It looks like it was primered first and then painted red. And then on the bottom piece, I used a different piece that didn't come with the car, so I got this from a junkyard. And you can see the difference in the color. This is a pre-facelift. It's a super light gray, and then the facelifts are a very dark gray. So I just plugged this in, and I turned the key on just to make sure the clock works, and it does. And to make sure that passenger thing works, I'm just gonna press down on the passenger seat. Yeah, it works. Alright, good. Literally just pressed it down like that. The sensor's somewhere in the back side here. So that's great. Now we can just turn this off and very carefully clip it in. I'm gonna put the shift boot in later, but there we go. that's it. It's now back to OEM, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It looks cleaner, I think, but I really liked it being like really dark, because the carbon is like almost black in some angles, and I think I just liked how that looked. But I'm just gonna need some time to get used to it, I guess. But I also found this. I had totally forgotten about this. This was a shift knob I bought ages ago. Some old shift knob. It says, that's what it says on top. And I wanted to put it on, but it's not the right thread. So this is an M12, and I'm pretty sure this is an M10, so like it doesn't even work at all. So I think I was gonna build an adapter for it. See if I can find that somewhere. So I found my old bag of bolts that I kept for this little adapter project. Basically, I had these two nuts I welded together, and I was gonna put this bolt on top. Okay, so like obviously these nuts are the same thread as the stock shifter, and then this is a smaller thread which matches the that shift knob. So I'm just gonna weld it on top of the nuts like this, and then just run it like that, and it would be a bit taller. I think it would look cool. But I gave up on it back then because I wasn't that good as welding. Take a look at these two nuts. See, like, it's really shoddy work when I welded these. A lot of little gaps in there. Okay, so I've welded the bolt to the nuts. You can rate my welds in the comments, because I don't know how good or bad this is. I know it's not great, but I mean, this should work for what we're doing. So that right there doesn't look that good, but I think like these look better? Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about welding. Yeah, so I'm going to grind this down, make it look a bit better, and then we can test fit it. So this is how it looks, cleaned up. I tried rounding the top so it would sit nicer. I think the welds are pretty good. They're definitely better than the earlier ones. I know now that I could have just bought an extension. They're like 20 bucks off Amazon, and it's really the same thing. But this is just, I don't know, I just didn't realize it at the time, and I already started this. And I mean, this was like $5 of worth of bolts, you know? Pretty cool. I think the old one is sat like around here, so it's not a huge change, which I didn't want a huge change. I still like, I'm not doing anything crazy, but this feels really good. It's gonna take some getting used to, but this feels really nice. This thing has a bit more weight to it than this old plastic one. I think this is aluminum. I really wanted this because this shape, it looks a lot like the Greddy shift knobs, and those are like my favorite shift knobs, but they're like 100 bucks or something. I can't remember the last time I checked, but yeah, they're a lot, and this was 10 bucks, I think. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. I think this came out of a Honda, which is kind of funny. Now it's in a Toyota. You know, my friends also suggested I could have just tapped this shift knob to make it fit the original, which is an option if I don't like this height later on. I think that's what I'll go for, because I know my buddy has a tap and die kit, so it's a possibility, but for now this is pretty good. So let me put the shift boot back, and then maybe I'll paint this to make it look a bit cleaner. Not sure. Okay, so I got the shift boot on. I washed it before putting it on, that's why I had it off for so long. We put the extension on it, and I have some of this white tape. It's like this, I think it's called Teflon tape. I don't know, we usually use this for like plumbing whenever we don't want stuff to leak. But I thought I should just put it on here just to make sure that these don't get stuck to each other, and so it's a little bit more snug. It won't turn when I don't want it to. I got really lucky because where it's tight, the word's like, it's straight, it's perfect. I think this gap looks a little weird, but it looks cool overall. I think it's I think I'll leave it like this for now. Maybe I'll make a cover that goes like around this. Maybe I'll paint this black or something. I'm open to ideas. It feels nice. It feels a bit lighter, like lighter to put into gear. I guess it's because it's weighted. So that's going to be all for this video. We really changed the interior a lot here, and I'm really happy with how it looks. Let me know if you have any suggestions. If you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Anything you want to see, let me know. If you stayed all the way to the end, I seriously appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.